I've been busy last couple of days, but got a lot of work done. Let's see, what have I done this time? So what I did most recently, I guess I'll just work backwards as the easiest, is I consolidated the shops. So now like smiths and merchants all go to the same location, no matter where you are, and all it does, that just saves me time having to keep building shops and stuff. So it might look a little weird when it's like, oh, the brown building and they all look the same, but dude, at a certain point I don't really care. The idea is like, look, you need to go shopping here. You get dumped into a shop. Now do your shopping and get out. The other thing I had to do is to make sure that like it knows what location you came from, which fortunately that was very easy to do. So the inside of each merchant is activated by a switch. So when you enter from Danmore, the Danmore merchant switch gets turned on. So now the game knows to use this event to then, when you want to leave, it'll transfer you to Danmore and then turn the switch off, which is very important. Otherwise, it would always return you to Danmore no matter where you came from. And obviously, I did this for all of them. So for the Capital Merchant, the Hilltop Merchant. So now you can go from... So it'll always know where you came from. Can it be exploited somehow by somehow managing to skip the switch so you can teleport? I'm not really concerned about it, honestly. I'm not a high budget production here, so not gonna fret about such things. Did the same thing with the smith, which is gonna be pretty nice because now I can test crafting. I don't have to keep putting these chests down, so everyone just goes here. I can grab the materials I need in order to test and experiment with crafting, figure out whether it's worth it or not. I haven't decided if I'm gonna like keep it into the game. I just don't know what benefits it really adds besides just being more complicated than just money. What else did I do going backwards? So the next thing I did is I wanted to get the church all figured out. Because I want to get... I'm pretty much at the point now that once you gain control of the characters, you know, wait, so say like there's an intro, the characters are introduced, motivations are established, then you gain control of the characters, then from there you can go out and then you can buy stuff, do crafting, beat things up, go explore a little bit, with the ultimate goal of getting to the next location. I had to make sure there was like some sort of secondary optional dungeon each section has just for hoots and ha's, because you know side quests are fun, and then some sort of obligatory dungeon. So that's what these brigands blocking the path is, the church's obligatory thing. Haven't done anything with this yet. Obviously, you know, you got to save some stuff for the late game. If anything, just to reuse the maps instead of just being like a one-time deal. You leave and you never come back. Just to save time on map making, basically forcing players to have to return is just a really easy way of doing that, and also it makes it. It also feels almost nostalgic, you know, when you come back to a place you're familiar, like, oh, yay, it's so good to be back. So I added these little ruins here, some ghosts you can go beat up, little plaque you can go read. Nothing really much to do here. Got the brigand fight. There's going to be a, oops, wrong one. What's going on here? I'm on the wrong tile. Okay, that makes sense. So, there's going to be a camp behind these guys here. They will have to be dealt with one way or another. Then I worked on the barbarians a bunch because they needed it. So so again did the same tricks. Now I can just like you go into this smith, you go generic smith, you go here, you go generic merchant. I haven't done anything with this yet. Again, just trying to get to the point where the game can at least move forward, even if all the little details aren't there yet. When I want to use like inns and bars, I want to use those for character development, learning a bit about the character background, but I don't want to like shove it down people's throats. So if you go to the bar or the inn, the party will split, and then you can go talk to the other party members to learn more about them. Again, as opposed to like having a dramatic moment where it's like, and then this thing happened, and now there's going to be a flashback that goes on for like 7.5 minutes. It's just be like, look, you want to know about them, you can talk to them, because that's how it works. So I got this, we got that, we got to put some enemies. I had to put some rats down to give the barbarians like something, just to give them a couple levels. You got Isa's home over here. Goblin camp. I haven't done anything with this yet. There's just some goblins hanging out over a thing you can't enter, but I just want to sort of mark that location for use later. This is where like the main, like again the force dungeon is. So you got to go into this thing and kill some stuff, and then you can go on the boat. So again, so now once I get the brigand camp made. So then I have that, again, that would be, like, again, the church's obligatory dungeon they have to do to progress. Then all the characters will be on to the next stage of the game, which is going through the desert, which I haven't named yet, to get to the city of Casbah. Oh, God, I love this song. Let me just pause this for a second. It's a little distracting, so I want to sing along with it. So, just to give you a little demonstration. I already saved it, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to go through the whole thing. Just, show that everything works the way it's intended, so... Is this after I did something? I'm not sure, so... I mean, obviously we need some happy-go-lucky town music, or, you know, something for the church needs to be a little more, like, hard and royal or imperial. So again, if I enter this Smith, I will come into generic Smith, which does his backer music, because it's a generic Smith. This is actually a merchant right now, because that's just what I used at the time. But so now I can use this in order to test crafting by, you know, having just supplies there. When I leave, I should be back at the church. Yay! Go in here. Oh, well, that works too. Maybe I have to so okay, we can go here, we can talk to the merchant, we can buy things. I don't think these tiles... No, these tiles... So wait, the sign? I can walk into the sign, even though there's that wall I can't walk... What? I mean, I could fix that. It's just odd that the tile that's over it would override the tile that's under it. Huh. And if we go back, anyways... So you see, it still works. I come here, I go back, I still come out of the church. It repeats, it works every single time. Yay! No problem. Obviously, you know, there's a an issue. If I could turn a switch on or off during those points, problems will be created. I should have just gone back to title. Oh well. Now see, that works for all of them, since you're right. Is this the right one? Yeah, it should be. Okay. But I didn't write any of this music, or make any of the sprites. I'm just using the thing. So again, this is the merchant over here, so I should pop in the merchant. Generic merchant. Talk to the merchant. I could buy things if I wanted to. Should be the generic Smith. Yeah. Come back out. I can leave. Everything works as intended. Did I shoot the barbarians or the church first? I did the church first, right? So again, here they're all good, decorated everything. And once there's enough going on that I feel like I could do like a decent, you know, a decent playthrough, then I will do that for each one, posting them separately just because. So again, here we are. General, I can buy things. Yay! And I leave. I should be back at Hilltop. Go in here. I should go to the Smith. Come out. Yay! It all works. Here again, needs background music. I'm working on it. I'm gonna come over here. Nothing here yet. I'm gonna save this for later. We can talk to this. Okay. So then you go over here and you go beat up the fishmen. Basically, you just have to kill the boss, and then that activates a trigger that makes it so the boat's ready to go. That's about it. I feel like I mean, probably something else I'm going to add here, because besides from beating up, I mean, there's a lot of XP in that little tower there. Then you could come over here and beat up on these goblins. Yeah. So again, I'm just trying to make steps forward, because I could always come back and detail things later on. Like I can make it so you can go inside this house and there's a treasure chest with like money you can steal, and the characters like make funny comments about how like it's like totally cool. You just go around taking everyone's shit. At least in this case, it could be like, Gaiga's the chief, so of course she can just take whatever she wants. She's a chief and she's on a great adventure. Or Aura's a bitch. If she needs to relinquish it, if she needs to requisition it or relinquish it from someone for the church's purpose, she can. I think Riley just wouldn't understand the concept of ownership. Like, she doesn't like people taking things, but she sees something sitting there, she would just like, oh, this is cool, and just grab it. Well, she's not that much of an idiot. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Got a little side door here in order to make Melena's house make sense, but you can't go back into it, because always I have to make this tile passable, and that just doesn't work for me. But otherwise, her house doesn't make sense because the door is here. I gotta scroll up to scroll down. Where's Melena's hut? There we go. You can see, because this is where Gaiga, because obviously, when I first designed it, I have a scene in mind where I have the characters and where they're going to enter and this, that, and the other thing. And it wasn't until I started actually making Hilltop I realized that the door should have been here. Because I still haven't found something I like to represent a door on the side of a building. There really just isn't. Again, I haven't found anything yet that looks nice that I like. And I mean, personally, I don't mind making all the houses face down. I mean, if so be it. I can make it work. I can make it work. That's about it. Yeah, so I'm really, really close. I think by tomorrow I can start doing the desert, which I gotta come up with some silly name for it, well, I'm already gonna have the Woods of Certain Death. That's already an actual official name that the players are gonna have to go through. Elsa patrolled there. That's her shtick. That's the whole reason why she was sent on the mission, because she's more familiar than most. Because obviously most people die. What else? I gotta put a little sign here. Again, little details. Like, I'm gonna put a little sign here, so everybody knows it's a merchant. I gotta make these signs so you can't pass through them, just because it looks weird. Be able to just walk into a wall because there's a sign on top of it. And that is all. I'm gonna get back to work.